I quit my job without a backup plan.
So, yeah. This isn't some dramatic burn the bridges story. I didn't scream at my boss. I didn't spill the tea on everyone's secret. I didn't even cry, though I probably should have, because of the uncertainty of the future. I just left. And the weirdest part is that most people around me didn't even notice. That's kind of what pushed me to go. I graduated during that in-between time, not peak pandemic, but still enough uncertainty in the air that you'd feel guilty for complaining about anything. I got this job at a mid-sized marketing agency a few months after university. And I was grateful. Like I reminded myself every single day to be grateful. Even when I was exhausted. Even when I had no idea what I was doing. Even when the job slowly started taking more than it gave. Because in my head, I was one of the lucky ones. And at first, yeah, it felt like a win. The office was modern, everyone drank oat milk, there were memes in the Slack channel. Very startup energy. But beneath the cool lighting and beanbags and casual Fridays, it was still just a job. The kind of job where you give more than you're supposed to. Where saying no makes you look like you're not a team player. Where burnout is just part of the culture. I didn't see it clearly in the beginning. Mostly because I didn't want to. Like everyone fresh out of university, I was eager to work. I thought exhaustion was a rite of passage. Then it became a routine. Wake up. Ignore the pit in my stomach. Check emails before brushing my teeth. Sit in meetings that could have been voice notes. Churn out work that looked good but felt meaningless. Go home too tired to cook. Repeat. It wasn't bad. It was just empty. The part that got to me, the part that finally made me start asking questions, was the toll it took on my mental health. I was always the one who said yes. Took on extra work. Fixed last-minute mistakes. Covered for people when they forgot things. And for a while, I thought that meant I was valued. But the truth is, I was just trying to survive the corporate environment. There was this one moment, not huge or dramatic, that really stuck with me. It was around 7 p.m. on a Friday. The office was quiet, mostly empty. I was finishing up a client report that wasn't technically my responsibility, but if I didn't do it, it wouldn't get done. My manager walked by, and instead of saying thanks or you're a lifesaver or literally anything, he said, "Don't forget to clean up your formatting, the client's picky." And then he left. And I remember staring at my screen, thinking, this isn't respect. This is expectation. And I don't know, something in me just cracked a little. I started noticing other things. Like how no one ever asked if I needed help. Or how certain people, usually louder, more fun ones, got promoted faster even if they did less, not that I care about promotion. Or how we all joked about burnout like it was a personality trait. And maybe this sounds petty, but it's real. There's something soul-crushing about being good at your job and still feeling replaceable. So I started fantasizing about quitting. Not in a rage-quit kind of way, just disappearing. Taking a deep breath and finally stepping off the hamster wheel. But I kept pushing that thought away. Because the adult thing to do is stick it out, we have bills to pay, right? Get a better offer first. Be responsible. And I tried. I did. I updated my resume. I applied to other jobs. I did a couple interviews that went nowhere. I networked. Reached out. Rewrote my LinkedIn about 5 times. But nothing changed. And the longer I stayed, the more tired I felt. Not just tired in a physical way, but in that deep, foggy, nothing feels real kind of way. Then came the last straw. It wasn't a huge incident, just a team meeting that went sideways. We'd all been working on a pitch for this client that was, frankly, annoying and indecisive. I'd poured hours into the presentation. Refined it. Tested it. Triple-checked it. We presented it, and it actually went well. Client was impressed. And then, in front of the whole team, my manager said, "Shout out to Alex for the killer visuals on this." Alex, who had spent maybe 20 minutes making a title slide. I literally blinked and thought, oh. Let's give credit to the loudest person. Got it. I didn't argue. Didn't roll my eyes. Didn't say anything. I just sat there, muted on Zoom, and let it happen. That night, I laid down on my sofa and thought, I think I'm done. I let that sit for a week. Didn't tell anyone. Didn't make any big moves. I just lived with that thought. I think I'm done. And weirdly, it made everything feel lighter. 2 weeks later, I submitted my resignation. No backup plan. Some savings, but nothing grandiose. No big announcement. Just a quiet little email with the subject, "Notice." My manager asked if I wanted to talk about it. I said no, thank you. I just didn't have the energy to explain myself to someone who had never really cared to begin with. The reactions from coworkers were mixed. Some people were surprised. Some people were awkward. One person, someone I barely talked to, pulled me aside and said, "I wish I had the courage to do what you're doing." And I remember thinking, this wasn't courage. This was necessity. The first day after quitting felt surreal. I woke up late. Ate a real breakfast. Opened my laptop just out of habit, then closed it again. No Slack. No emails. No calendar pings. Just quiet. And for the first time in months, I could actually hear myself think. I won't lie, the next few weeks were weird. I kept expecting to feel regret, panic, doubt. But mostly, I felt calm. Broke but calm. I did some freelance stuff here and there. Nothing major. Just enough to keep the lights on. I slept more. I journaled. I went on walks with no destination. I started reading books I never finished. I made lunch instead of skipping it. And slowly, I started to feel like myself again. The biggest realization. I was never lazy. I was just tired of proving I wasn't. I had spent so much time trying to be valuable that I forgot how to just be. Be present. Be still. Be okay with not being productive every second. It's like I'd been sprinting on a treadmill that wasn't going anywhere, and stepping off made me realize how loud it had been the whole time. Now, it's been a little over 7 months since I left. I'm not making 6 figures. I don't have a dream job yet. But I do freelance work on my terms. I have mornings to myself. And I finally feel like a person again, not just a role. Sometimes people ask me if I'll go back to office life. And maybe someday I will. But if I do, it's gonna be different. I won't play the yes person role anymore. I won't confuse being needed with being valued. And I won't wait for burnout to convince me it's time to go. So yeah. I quit my job without a backup plan. Not because I'm brave. Not because I had a trust fund or figured it all out. But because I was tired, and no one was gonna save me from that but me. And if you're listening to this and you feel stuck, just know, leaving doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes it's just quiet. Sometimes it's just a note in your phone that says, "I think I'm done." And that's enough to start something new.
If you have any story to share, check the description below, and you can be featured in a future video. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.